After my podcast with Tim, I'd been a little hard on Dr. McGill. I'd been a little tough on him, and I had a call from him. He's like, "Coach, can we talk for 5 minutes?" So I knew what was coming. I knew it was coming, and I was like, "Sure." And we ended up having a really nice conversation for about 90 minutes.
And what had you said, so people know that?
Well, what Stu had said was he is a huge proponent of neutral spine. Okay, so no flexion, no extension, and I was critical of that. In fact, I still am critical of that. But I think
and the Jefferson curl is the opposite.
Is going to be
of that.
loaded flexion.
Right.
So that's the one that just Stu wakes up in the middle of the night with a nightmare for. Athletically, my viewpoint is with a neutral spine, there is nothing you can do athletically. You can't move your body. You can't do jiu-jitsu. You can't do Thai boxing. You can't do yoga. You can't run, swim, climb, throw. There's nothing you can do with a neutral spine. There's not a single thing.
So why train like that?
Well, and then so I just knew that instinctually from my background all those years. This can't be. Now Stuart's background was having people who were chronically damaged coming to him, structurally compromised, right? Things have been blown, and they're trying to minimize back pain. So for them, neutral spine made sense, but that was like me only working with national team athletes, how that skewed my viewpoint for the general public. These chronically damaged patients, in my opinion, and I told Stu this, skewed his viewpoint to the general public. Because what the conversation we had, and I think he came around to it, I was like, Stu, you got to understand, you've got everyone terrified that they're made of glass. And they're not made out of glass. They have a healthy physical structure. They're just fat, lazy, and out of shape. But the structure is healthy and will respond with proper training. But they're afraid to do that proper training because they're afraid they're just gonna shatter. I said, it's not the case. It's not the case. And so it was a great conversation. I enjoyed it. He's a bright man. He's a bright man. But we found, Jeff, in fact, what we never saw coming was our work being adopted by therapists around the world. Never saw that the things we would use to increase physical performance which kind of makes sense now looking back, would have an impact on daily quality of life.
Right.
And the nice thing is that therapists, because it's completely contrary to what they're taught neutral spine. And they would first use our protocols in their own training and say, hey, I feel better. I feel better. So for example, instead of neutral spine, we would like to see some flexion in the spine. And we're going to do some work because those joints are meant to articulate. If they don't articulate, just articulate means move, right? They're going to break down.